play we are doing is Chicken Sunday. Dante Duran is Stuart. Fernanda Nieto is Patricia. Barkeisha Page is the customer. Nick Natalia is Mr. Kadinsky. Hassan Foster is Miss Yola. And Carla Netayella is the customer. And I'm the announcer. Stuart was my neighbor. He was my brother in Solomon ceremony we had performed in his backyard one summer. He wasn't the same religion as I was. He was baptized. His grandmother, Eula Mae Walker, was my grandma now. My babushka had died 2 summers before. Sometimes my mother let me go to church on Sundays with them. How we loved to hear Miss Eula sing. She had a voice like slow thunder and sweet rain. We'd walk to church and back. She'd take my hand as we crossed College Avenue. Even though we've been churching up like Disney's folks ought to, she'd say, I don't want you to step in front of those 2 fast cars. You'll be as flat as a hen's tongue. She squeezed my hand. When we passed Mr. Kadinsky's hat shop, Miss Eula would always stop and look in the window at the wonderful hats. Then she'd sigh and walk on.
I love Chicken Sundays because we eat our fried chicken, big pot of Papa John, collard greens, the bacon, corn on the cob, and fried spoon bread.
I love the hat, Mr. Kadinsky. Shout.
Let's get Miss Eula the hat.
Stuart reached into the hole of our wish tree in the backyard. He pulled out a rusty Band-Aid tin. There, the 2 of us held our breath as we counted the money inside that we've been saving for weeks.
We don't have enough money to buy Miss Eula the hat. We need to go ask Mr. Kadinsky if we can work in his shop for money.
That's a great idea. Let's go ask him now.
Why do you kids do this? I just try to live a peaceful life. I'm calling her grandmother. It wasn't us. I am very disappointed in you. It wasn't us. There was these 3 mean girls throwing those eggs at Mr. Kadinsky's door. I believe you, but you'll have to prove it to Mr. Kadinsky. How can we prove it to him if he thinks we threw those eggs at his door?
Eggs?
Eggs!
Eggs. Let's decorate some eggs. We can use a lump of beeswax, a candle, a small funnel with a wooden handle, and some packets of yellow, red, and black dye. We can ask the mom if she can help us make them.
Spasiba, Spasansky eggs. I have not seen these since I have left my homeland. We didn't throw those eggs at your door. Then you have great courage to be here. Chutzpah, you have chutzpah. Come inside and have some tea with me.
Can we go up dogs for you?
I'll tell you this. These eggs are as beautiful as my hats. It's almost Easter. I'm sure that people would love these eggs. Set up a table and sell them right here in my shop.
Beautiful, splendid, glorious. I'll take it.
Wow, we made it all the dozen Pasansky eggs. Yay! Hooray! We have enough money. Keep your money, children. I have seen Miss Eula admire this hat. It is for her, isn't it? Tell her that I know you are very good children, such good children. Oh, thank you, my little children. Oh, baby dears. I can die happy now. After I'm dead on Chicken Sundays, I want you to boil some chicken bones, gravy and all, and pour it over my grave. When I'm hungry, I can reach out and have some.
Stuart and I are grown up now. Our old neighborhood has changed some, yet it's still familiar too. The freeway rumbles over the spot where Mr. Kadinsky's shop once stood. I think of him often and his glorious hats. We lost Miss Eula some time back, but every year we take some chicken soup up to Mount View Cemetery and do just as she asks. Sometimes, when we are especially quiet inside, we can hear singing, a voice that sounds like slow thunder and sweet rain.
The play that we are doing is Mrs. Katz and Tush. Rakisha Page is playing the neighbor. Eddie Jones is playing Marnell. Crystal Hansen is playing Mrs. Katz. And Nelson Calderon is playing the neighbor. And I, Anna Sumer, are playing the announcer. Marnell didn't know Mrs. Katz very well, but almost every other day his mother stopped in to see her after work. Since her husband died, she's so alone, his mother had told him. Mrs. Katz held tight to his mother's hand the day they looked at an old photo album. "That's my husband Myron," said Mrs. Katz. "He came from Poland like me, a long time ago. We had such a life, such a life." Then her voice broke. "We had no children, and I'll be all alone for Hanukkah and Passover." Then she cried.
Coming. I've been thinking. The cat had some kittens in the basement of our building. We found someone to take all of them except this one. She's the one. Nobody wants her because she doesn't even have a tail. Ugly to say? My Myron was ugly too, but he grew up to be such a person. Scrawny little bubble, so small, no tail. I don't know. Lorna, I'll take her, but only if you will come and help me with her. You know, I never had a cat before. I promise. A good Yiddish name I will give her. Let's see. She had no tail, so all you see is a tush. That's it. We'll call her Tush.
Mrs. Katz fell in love with Tush. Marnell kept his promise. He visited Mrs. Katz and Tush every day after school. One day, while they were sitting together,
I come from Warsaw. That's Pong, you know. I come here to work selling dresses in the garment district for my cousin Washi. I didn't speak one word English.
And how did you talk to other people?
I didn't. A lot of those days I cried until I met my Myron. He asked me to marry him after he tasted my Google.
I believe that.
Myron and I used to vacation in the Catskill. You know, a place for Jews to stay.
You mean Jews couldn't stay anywhere they wanted to? My grandma told me about places she couldn't stay either.
Lornell, your people and my people are like, you know, trouble we've seen, happiness too, great strength we've had. You know, you and I are so like, now where was I? Oh yes, the Catskill. We used to dress up every Sunday and have a costume ball. You hear that, Lornell? That's what we used to dance to. It's a dance from my homeland. Here, I'll show you. Since you are almost family to me, Lorno, I want you should come with me to say Kaddish for my Myron. I know you're not Jewish, but my Myron would have liked you. You're such a person, Lorno.
later at the cemetery, Marnell puts a rock on top of the headstone.
We do this to remember. Shalom, my Myron. Kugel, such Kugel big tree today, Lornell. Hurry, let's get home. Tush will be waiting for us.
Tush, where are you? Where are you, Tush?
Oh no, I forgot to shut the window before I left. Poor Bubba, she had never been outside. She must have gotten out.
We'll find her.
She's been acting shady.
Mrs. Katz. I won't let you down.
It was getting dark. First, Mrs. Katz and Lionel looked around their building. Then they went everywhere in the neighborhood. They left notes on doors, telephone poles, and fences. They asked everyone who lived nearby, but no one had seen little Tush. That night, it stormed. There was rain, awful, awful rain. Mrs. Katz hardly slept as she thought about her little Cadillac. She's such a person, she whispered. Lionel worried most of the night, too. What will Mrs. Katz do, he thought.
Please, God, bring that cat back to her.
Come in.
Is this yours?
My Bubba, little Kaplan.
We found her in the back alley, soaking wet and hungry.
Thank you, thank you.
The next day,
Come in.
Tush doesn't want to play no more. All she wants to do is sleep.
It was at my Aunt Havil's Passover Seder that I met my Myron. Did you know that? What good times they were, with lots and lots of family. Now it's just me.
Can I have Passover dinner with you?
I thought you would never ask. Such a Seder I prepared for you. Passover is a good time for good food. Like your people and my people were slaves too. They lived in a country where they did not want to be. They wanted freedom so much that they prayed to God to help them, so he sent an angel that brought sadness to the houses of our captors, but the angel did not visit the house of my people.
How did the angel know where the Jews lived?
They marked their doors. Then the angel passed over. That's why they call this celebration Passover. So we had a big feast to celebrate. But we also remember those who had to suffer so we could be free. Part of this dinner is sad and part of it is happy. Let's go food shopping. You see this tablecloth? This is a wedding pupa. Our canopy for all these years. We had used it for holidays and celebrations.
How come you have so many dishes?
Because some Jews don't eat dairy and meat on the same plates. Let the feast begin.
This bread looks like soda crackers.
We call it matzah, dear. We eat it at Passover. It is flat because it has no yeast in it, so it doesn't rise. I have hidden one piece of matzah in the apartment. If you find it, I have a surprise for you.
I found the matzah.
I made this for you.
Thank you. This is the best present ever.
the next day,
Come quick already. Something wonderful has happened. The angel of death passed over, but the angel of life didn't. Mazel tov tush. 4 babies. At last, I'm a bubby.
as the years passed, Mrs. Katz, Tush, and her descendants became part of Lionel's home. There was graduations, weddings, new babies, and finally a cottage. Lionel stood in front of the headstone. He read from a book. He placed a small rock on top of the headstone. Then he, his wife, and their children read the inscription together. Mrs. Katz, our Bubby, such a person.
play that we are doing is My Own Man. Jose Concepcion will be the video guy. Chastity Concepcion will be Patricia. Akio Sadish will be the My Old Man. James Lego will be Richie. Julie Burgos will be Grandma. Rakisha Page will be the car, and Anna Suma will be the car. And Matthew Robinson will be the announcer. Whenever I get quiet and still inside and I wish I was little again, all I have to do is think of my summers in Michigan. When I do this, it isn't now anymore, it's then again. My mom and dad were divorced, and our summers were spent with our dad and grandma in the village of Williamston, just outside of Lansing. There's our house on Middle Street. There's our grandma in the window light. She's watering her plants. Those are our crate paper parents. There's Mr. Barber trying to get the mail.